Welcome to the XFO Intelligence Podcast. In high-stakes domains, whether you're navigating capital markets, leading a corporation, or steering a complex career, the environment is unforgiving. It is largely zero-sum. In these arenas, success isn't about raw intelligence or sheer effort. It's about possessing a genuine structural edge. Yet, most individuals and organizations suffer from a critical systemic failure: the gap between their aspirational decision-making and their operational decision-making. Aspirational decision-making is the rational, optimized framework you believe you use. Operational decision-making is what you actually do when subjected to volatility, friction, and intense psychological pressure. When the pressure mounts, if you don't have a codified system, you don't just underperform. You become liquidity. You are systematically harvested by those who possess a documented, stress-tested cognitive architecture. So, how do we close this gap? We have to look beneath the psychology and examine the underlying mechanics of human cognition under stress. First, understand the phase transition of the uncodified mind. Under low stress, an intuitive decision-maker is fluid and adaptable. But under extreme pressure, the lack of codified rules causes the mind to freeze into a rigid, single-path topology. You become predictable. Codification is the antifreeze that keeps your decision-making fluid under pressure. Second, recognize the hidden physics of your own biology. Ego is not just a psychological bias, it is a metabolic drain. Refusing to abandon a failing strategy because of identity attachment actively starves your brain of the energy required to build new, adaptive pathways. Furthermore, somatic signals, like jaw tension, insomnia, or fatigue, are not weaknesses to be conquered by hustle. They are highly calibrated biological navigation tools. They are your internal radar warning you that you are entering a toxic, high-risk zone. Ignoring them is blinding yourself right before a tail risk event. To build an edge that survives and compounds, you must adopt 4 immutable laws. Law 1. The strict separation of design and execution. Because your brain degrades under stress, you must never make a new rule or adjust a strategy while under pressure. The design phase happens in a calm state, where you write if-then standard operating procedures. The execution phase is when you act purely as a mechanical executor of those rules. No deviations. Law 2. The externalization mandate. If a rule or boundary is not physically written down in a version-controlled document, it does not exist. Gut feel is demoted to a hypothesis. Memory is a liability, not an asset. Law 3. The biological veto. Your physical body has absolute veto power over your cognitive software. If a biological tripwire is crossed, the system must automatically default to a conservative holding pattern. Period. Law 4. The blind audit. You must separate outcomes from process. Every failure must be surgically dissected. Was it a type A analytical miss, where the model was wrong? A type B behavioral rule break, where you let ego override the process? Or a type C true bad luck event, which you simply tag and dismiss to prevent overfitting? A codified system is a living architecture. It requires version control. Every failure forces an update from version 1.0 to version 1.1, actively dissolving the ghost networks of legacy bias. How do you know if your edge is real? Apply the 2-minute story test. You must be able to articulate your competitive advantage in 2 minutes or less. If it takes 20, your system is bloated with noise. The aspirational versus operational gap exists because we try to solve thermodynamic and probabilistic problems with psychological hope. You cannot willpower your way through biological limits. You cannot intuit your way through high-entropy environments. You must accept your limitations and build an external, mechanical, codified system that operates around them. Stop hoping. Start engineering. If you found this insight valuable, please save this video and subscribe to the XFO Intelligence channel for more deep dives into strategic advantage. If you want to bring this level of rigorous, codified thinking to your organization, we invite you to contact us at xfointelligence@gmail.com for details about our thought leadership as a service. Disclaimer: the content provided in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, legal, or professional advice. All decision-making frameworks should be tailored to your specific circumstances and reviewed by qualified professionals.